Hello, and welcome back to Content and Conversations Live, where we are going to talk about alignment in your sales and marketing. So, alignment in your sales and marketing. What is that? What does it mean? And how do you do it in a meaningful way? I am your host, Ryan Dowdy, and I am so excited to be here with you to talk about a topic that is very near and dear to my heart, but one that has evolved for me over the years. So, if you've been around for any amount of time, I so appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. But if you're new, I just want to tell you a little bit of my story. So I had a 15-year corporate career before becoming an entrepreneur. And I very much came from strategy and hard work and just very traditional model of how does business work, right? Input equals output, right? And I have been on just this really wild and interesting personal development and spiritual journey where I'm learning way more about energy and alignment and the power that we have in our thoughts and our feelings and our energy. And then, of course, how does that impact us in our sales and marketing? So, over the years, I've kind of evolved how I have taught sales and marketing because before it was very mathematical and masculine. And like I said, it was like we're just running a production house, right? It was like, okay, cool, just put the numbers in and you get the output, put the numbers in and you get the output. And that works to a certain extent, right? That works to a certain extent, but then you eventually get to the point where the energy and all of that comes into place. So today I really want to talk about how do we create alignment in our sales and marketing, because as my coach and mentor, my friends, Stacy Baronfuss always says, like, acceleration, alignment is acceleration. The more aligned we are in our sales and marketing, in our businesses with our goals, the faster we can get there. But so often we find ourselves out of alignment because we're following the blueprints and the plans and the strategy that maybe worked for somebody else. And so that's actually why we shifted from a coaching and consulting business to a consulting and agency business, because I don't believe any longer in a one size fits all approach, because you have to be aligned with the strategy. And so the idea that everybody is going to be aligned with this just one strategy is kind of bullshit, right? So we really focus on frameworks and ideas and to play within, to play to your strengths, essentially, right? So how do we create alignment in our businesses? How do we create alignment in our sales and marketing so that they match up in a meaningful way, right? So there are three things that I want to talk about today, that if we align these three things, we are going to be able to move so much faster, in regardless of what type of business you have. And so that's what I want to talk about with you today. So thank you for being here. If you're here live, I want to hear from you in the comments. Those of you that are watching on the podcast, we love hearing from you all as well, or listening on the podcast. So there's three things that we have to think about when we think about alignment. One is your audience, two is your offer, and three is your sales process. Because when you can align your audience with your offer and your sales process, that's where magic happens for so many people, right? But the challenge is so many of us focus on just one of those things, which is what leaves us out of alignment and is keeping us from getting the results that we want. Maybe we're really aligned with our offer, but our sales process isn't aligned. Or maybe we really love the audience that we served, but our offer isn't in resonance with that person. Or maybe your sales process is completely off. So I want to talk about, just kind of pull apart those three different things. How do we get into alignment with each one of those things so that we can accelerate our sales and marketing? Because when those three things are aligned, that's where the magic happens. So the first one is your audience. Who are you serving and why? And so this is challenging because this goes into the niche question, which so many people have. Do I need a niche? To me, I'm not a fan of niching down, if you will. I think we niche to the problem we solve, not necessarily to the person that we solve, or to the person we solve it for. So what I mean by that is, so say for instance, you are a marketing agency, right? And you help people tell better stories. And it's not necessarily that you just help bookkeepers tell better stories, or you just tell accounting firms how to tell better stories. You teach people who have this experience to tell better stories, right? So for me, the audience is more around what is the type of person that you want to serve, and not necessarily what is their profession, or I just want to work with moms, or I just want to work with, people with kids between the ages of like 0 and 4, right? That's a very specific audience. But for me, I will give you an example here at the Connection Agency. Like, our audience, who we really desire to serve, is impact-driven entrepreneurs, right? People who are really looking to make an impact and really have our shared values. Like, my audience is more about our shared values than the type of business that they have. So some of our clients run agencies, some of our clients are coaches, some of them are, consultants, some of them are product-based businesses, some of them are health coaches, right? We work with a variety of different people, but all of them want the same thing, right? They want to make a big impact. They want to focus on human to human connection. They want to build community. Like that's really the shared values of our audience. And so for a lot of people, they will find themselves working with an audience that does not feel aligned to them, whether it is an alignment to this is who I want to serve or alignment to this is who I feel like I can serve. But like, who is the audience that you get most excited about serving? And because a lot of us start in the beginning of our business, depending on where you are and where your revenue is in your business, so many people start with like, I'm willing to serve whoever has money. I'm willing to serve whoever will hire me. And we all start there, right? There's no judgment in this at all. But as your business grows and as you grow as a human, right, it's going to change who you want to work with and who really fits. So getting very clear is like, what is the most aligned audience? So again, another example for us, the agency, anybody who's just here to make money and isn't really worried about the results that they provide for their clients and the values, they don't share our value, like that's not a good fit for us. Yes, that's just not a good fit for us as an agency. It doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter how good I think I could do, what great work I could do for you. If you are not aligned as in those values, I don't want to work with those people. So when we can get really clear on what are those shared values, what does alignment with our audience mean? People who want the same things, right? Another thing for us, like we don't do shortcuts. Like I'm not promising you $1 million overnight. It just doesn't work for me, right? Like we have to build it brick by brick. And I believe that to be true. Do I believe it has to take forever? No. But do I believe it happens overnight? Also no, right? So we have to have people that are aligned in that. Like I often share that I don't want to promise people a magic wand because then we attract clients who want a magic wand and I don't have a magic wand, right? Like I am very candid in our sales and marketing about the work and the effort and all of those things. Ooh, I love that, Alexis, and I'm going to hit that in just a second, right? But like, I don't want the people who are looking for the easy button because they're not going to do the work of what really needs to be done to be successful in building a successful sales and marketing system inside of your business. So we just have to make sure that we are in alignment. So there's a great comment here from Alexis. It says, it seems most people and brands are targeting a specific demographic that they want, but it may not line up with the demographic that actually uses and purchase their products and or products or service. 100%. And there's like an epidemic of that happening right now across the world because nobody, especially in online entrepreneur land, nobody wants to work with the newbies. The newbies are broke. They don't have any money. They don't work hard. Da, 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 da. Nobody wants to serve those people, but they have products and services that are built for those people. Right. So a lot of like courses and different things like that. There's a lot of course creators in the world, and that's amazing. And we need courses, but you know, the multi-million dollar business owner may or may not be buying a course to solve a problem, right? It might be a member of their team buying that course, or they might just be like, I don't ever want, thanks so much, Alexis. I don't ever want, like for me, I will never buy another course ever again. I don't do courses. I don't want to learn how to do it. I want somebody to do it for me. So you can consult me all day long, but if you're not going to do it for me, the likelihood of me actually doing the work, slim to none, right? So for me, it's really important, and this is for all of us, what is alignment in your audience? If you want to sell courses, and exactly to Alexis's point, you want to sell courses to multi-million dollar business owners, but are those multi-million dollar business owners actually going to go through your course and implement what they learn? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. I'm a party of one, but that's what we need to think about when we have alignment with our audience, when we share those values, when our solution is the right solution for the person. That is when things start to move really, really quickly. Because again, your solution could be amazing, but if you're trying to sell it to the wrong person, you're dead in the water, right? Somebody here says the easy button doesn't work for sustainability either, and I think it happens occasionally. Sure, right? I agree. So the first thing we need to be in alignment is our audience, right? And so we started here a little bit. Let's talk about alignment with our offer. Is your offer in alignment with how you want to do business? And I will tell you a personal story here. When I started my very first business, first iteration of my business in 2019, I was a sales coach for new entrepreneurs, and I launched this really lovely program, and I loved it so much. And we put hundreds of women through it, and we had a lot of success. But by the time we retired that program and I was moving on to another iteration of business, I had built an offer that I did not like fulfilling on. Not because it did not get my clients results, but because it required a shit ton of my time to deliver. It was heavy. It needed a lot of people. It needed a lot of time. It needed a lot of attention. It just felt very heavy to operate. So if you have an offer that feels really heavy to operate, it is hard. Like you're not in alignment. If it feels heavy to sell this, then fuck, if we sign another one of these types of clients, it would be really great to have the cash, but it doesn't feel good to fulfill it. You are out of alignment and you're not going to sell a lot of that. So really asking yourself, because this is big in pricing. Everyone's like, you need high ticket offer, high ticket offer, high ticket offer, or low ticket, low ticket, low ticket, whatever you're being preached, right? You have to be in alignment with it. I first started my world with a mentor. I started my entrepreneurial journey with a mentor who said high ticket only. And so I got into high ticket only. And so I'm in this really weird season of like low and mid ticket offers. And I feel like a newbie because I was never selling low and high ticket offers. Like we're literally launching a $97 a month membership. I've never launched a membership before. And we're doing that. And that feels really scary because I've never done it. But the offer feels so friggin' in alignment. Like to me, it's such a no-brainer offer that people are crazy if they do not buy it. So it feels good to me because I'm like, yes, of course you need this. Everybody needs this. Everybody who is an entrepreneur who wants to sell and market, who wants to build sales and marketing systems that are fun and easy and aligned should buy this thing. And I can say that without pause, without hesitation. I'm happy. I'm proud. Like to me, that is alignment with an offer. But so often we are out of alignment with our offer because our coach said so, or the industry said so, or I think that's all people will pay, or I think that's all people can afford, or we're in a recession, or people don't have money, or nobody's investing, and nobody's hiring, and these things don't work, and blah, 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 right? All the different things. It doesn't matter. There are no rules. The rules are made up. The guru on the internet telling you that it has to be done a certain way is only speaking from their experience. You can go find a different guru who will tell you something different. So the only thing that you need to worry about in your offer in your business is, does it get your clients the result that it promises? Is there a need for it in the market? And does it feel good to you? Does it get your clients the result it promises? Is there a need for it in the market? And does it feel good to you? Those are the only rules to offer creation. But if you are not in alignment with your offer, so again, I see a lot of people wanting to sell one-on-one consulting and one-on-one coaching because it's high ticket and I only need, 10 clients to give me $5,000 a month to be at $50,000 months. That's amazing. But if the idea of sitting on the phone with 5 clients every single week and doing all this work for them feels really heavy, you are out of alignment with your offer. And which means you are going to have a hard time selling your offer. Because again, alignment is acceleration. So the more aligned that you are, so really pulling apart, what are the parts and pieces? What is the service delivery, right? I'm in my season of pulling back instead of leaning in. I want to work less hours, not more. So I get, if you're anything like me, if you have a visionary brain, like I get 4 million business ideas every single day. Probably 80% of them in which I am qualified to actually bring into the world. But I'm not going to bring something into the world that doesn't line up with the lifestyle that I am looking to create right now, because that would be out of alignment, right? So we really have to think about, are we in alignment with our offer? Are we in alignment with service delivery? Are we in alignment with results? Are we in alignment with the amount of time it takes? Are we in alignment and with who it is the best fit for? Because if we're not in alignment with those things, we're always going to have a hard time selling it, right? So the first thing we have to be in alignment with is our audience, right? And then we have to be in alignment with our offer. And then finally, we have to be in alignment with our sales process. Again, we went through a season of, there's a million different ways to sell things. You can live launch, you can do challenges, you can do webinars, you can do master classes, you can sell in the DMs, you can sell in sales calls. Like, oh my God, there's so many different ways to sell, right? You can sell in your content. And so the question then becomes, what is most in alignment to you for your sales process? Because everybody is promising you that their way is the best way, and their best way is the way that you are aligned with, right? So for me, any of our offers that are not our done for you offers, I'm just not doing sales calls for anymore, right? So it's literally from $97 a month up to $2,000. I'm not doing sales calls for those offers. It does not feel aligned for me. It is not how I want to spend my time. And I do not want to pay a salesperson and put the pressure on a salesperson and put the salary on a salesperson of how much of those offers they would have to sell to actually be profitable. So all of our offers from $2,000 and below are sold via content. They're sold via DMs. They're sold via our private podcast. Like they're all sold different ways because that sales process aligns for me. But our done for you, our consulting, our done with you. Like, yes, of course I want to get on a sales call, not just because I feel like I have to talk somebody into something, but because I want to make sure we're a fit to work together. If we're going to work together this closely for any extended period of time, I want to spend time with you first. I want to feel out your energy. I want you to feel out mine, right? So that is how my sales process aligns with me. I don't like launching. I launched my Face Off for 2 years. I believe that launching is extremely effective. I don't want to do it. So if I were to launch, would I be successful? Maybe. Not because launching doesn't work, but because launching would be out of alignment for me because it is not something that I want to do right now, right? Because it is not something that I want to do right now. So for me, it is really about, and for you, if you're listening to this right now, is how do I create a sales process that aligns all of those things? Because here's the challenge too, because some people want to sell $100,000 offers, but they don't want to take sales calls, right? Like, do those two things align? So it's not just, are you aligned with the thing? All three of the things, the audience, the offer, and the sales process, have to be lined up for it to be effective. Because if I'm going to spend $100,000 on anything, right? So say for instance, it's a consulting package and you're going to come in and you're going to do all this stuff for me. Cool. That sounds amazing. I'm excited about that. But the truth of the matter is I'm not paying you $100,000 to do anything with me if you won't get on the phone with me. Right? If you will not get on the phone and have a conversation, I'm never going to spend that a lot of money. So then we have to make sure, is our sales process aligned with the service delivery versus on the flip side, right? Again, I don't want to have to get on the phone with you to give you $197 for something. I don't want to do that as a buyer, right? I just want to give you my $197. I'm willing to take the risk of it not being a fit because it's so low risk for me, right? So it's, what is the sales process that aligns with the offer and the audience? Because again, another, here we got this trifecta going. If you serve multi-million dollar businesses, are they sitting through a 9-day live launch? Probably not, right? So that means your sales process and your audience are not aligned, because what your multi-million dollar business owner probably wants to buy your offer is a sales conversation. They want to talk to you. They want to know, does it work? Does this fit? And then they want to buy the thing and move on. They don't want to sit through 9 hours worth of videos. They just don't. At least I don't. Right? Maybe they do, maybe they don't, and vice versa. So it's making sure that all of these things are aligned. And so many people are teaching these things separately, right? We teach audience building and we teach offer development and we teach sales process. But all of those things, that trifecta, have to work together for you to truly be in alignment. Because if you're obsessed with the offer and you think it's pure fucking magic, but you believe that you have to run a 5-day challenge to sell that offer, and the idea of running a 5-day challenge makes you want to cry, dead in the water, right? Like, don't even waste your time. Take your toys, go home. Or you can keep running challenges that you hate and get mediocre results. And like, I speak from experience, both for myself, for my clients, for programs that I have coached inside of, right? If it is not all lined up for you, if it does not all make sense for you, you're always going to have some level of resistance. When the floodgates open and you're making money every single day, your audience, your offer, and your sales process is aligned. It is aligned. Alexis isn't here. She says, no unsolicited DMs. Alexis doesn't like DMs. I love DMs. I have built like multi-million dollar businesses on unsolicited outbound DMs. That works for me, right? That works for my company. That works for my team. Another company that doesn't work for, and that's okay, right? I'm also not convincing anybody who doesn't want to do that doesn't want to do that they have to do it, because their sales process has to be in alignment with them. Right? Kelly says, take your toys and go home. You should, right? But that's what's really important here, is how do we align our audience? Who do we want to serve, right? Who gets the best results from our stuff? Who can afford our stuff with an offer that we are excited to deliver on, that we know gets our clients the best results, that meets our lifestyle requests, with a sales process that does that same thing. That is the magic. That is sales and marketing alignment. Audience, offer, sales process. That all comes together. So if you are not, yes, Kelly says, at this stage in life, only this, at any stage in life, only this. Because can we be successful? Can we be successful without being in alignment? Yes. Yep. Yeah. I made literally, millions of dollars live launching, running heavy programs, doing all the things. Like, I was successful on paper, right? But did I enjoy it? Was I having fun? No, not even a little bit. I was stressed out. I was burned out. I was working all of the time. I felt resentful. I was angry. I gained weight. I was cranky. So, like, can you get a result from being out of alignment? Of course, but is it worth the cost? And for me, the answer is no. For me personally, the answer was no, absolutely not. It is not worth the cost to me to do something that feels out of alignment, because what happens behind the scenes, what happens in my life, does not line up with what that gets me, with what that actually yields. Yes. Hey, there's totally great. Awesome. I'm so glad that you believe, that you agree that. So when we think about how do we, yes, Alexis says, as a recipient, totally. And some of them are so bad, right? Like, I don't feel judged by that by any stretch of the imagination, but it's like, how do we do these things in a way that feels good? So that is your homework assignment, if you will, is to really think about, who is the audience that I am most lit up to to serve? Who is the audience who gets the best results from my stuff? What is an offer that I know gets our clients results and I know fits my goals? And what is a sales process that I can actually show up and do consistently? Because most people think that they don't like sales and marketing, but the only reason they don't like sales and marketing is because they are selling and marketing in a way that does not feel aligned to them. They are selling and marketing in a way that is not in resonance, that is not in alignment with who they are, how they show up, their gifts. And so when all of those things are lined up, that's when things start to happen. That's where the magic comes in of you're just phoning it in and it's just happening everywhere because you're in this beautiful place of everything feels aligned and easy and we're serving great people and we're getting people great results and we're selling it in a way that feels good. So that's your homework assignment. Pull it all apart, tear it apart. If you need help with it, please reach out to us. We would love to serve you. We'd love to be part of helping you this put together. For those of you watching live, thank you for being here. For those of you on the podcast, we so appreciate you all. And we will see you guys next week. Bye, guys.